Welcome back, Nick Lenz Comic Corner Classics as Non-Classics. This is episode number 1173 and Doubleshot number 1067. I got two trades for you, one from Marvel, one from DC. Like with the last one, it's a Green Arrow trade. Though this is the last trade that collects Ben Percy's run for the book, this is Trial of Two Cities. This collects issues 33 to 38 of the Green Arrow comic book. Well, for volume 6 anyways. Yeah, this is the end of Ben Percy's run for the book. Yep. This ends the whole thing of the plot threads going into issue 1. Green Arrow, at the start of this, was framed for the murder of his own secretary. Turns out she was actually alive. She never really died. And, well, thanks to help of the Justice League, he was able to clear his name in court. Yep. He returned after being traveling for the previous arc of the series. Oh, and by the way, in case you were issue 33 is, 32, that's part of the Dark Knight's Metal crossover. Yeah, for some reason, the book had to have a crossover. That I think it was Bats from Hell, I think it was. No, it was Resistance. Yeah, where they mention here about him saving Gotham, which actually happened in issue 38. Yep. So, he goes back to Seattle. He basically finds out his mom is alive. Yeah, readers have known about it since issue number 25. Yep, that is how long readers have known about it. He took a freaking long time to figure out his mom is alive. And of course, then at one point we have the two moms fighting. We have both Oliver's mom and Emmy's mom basically fighting. Emmy's mom is Shadow. And, of course, Diana had to stop both of them killing each other because, one of who happens to be the mother of the man she loves. The other, of course, is the mother of basically her boyfriend's sister. Yeah. So, with Oliver's name cleared in court, he gets his company back. He gets his fortune back. Night Circle itself is not technically taken down. With Oliver's name cleared, he's able to be Green Arrow again properly. And the police chief who was killed off during the Arrow Outlaw storyline, yeah, he gets a community center named after him thanks to a grant. Yeah, it's almost like basically this had the wrap up and nice little bow. And this is actually really good. Of course, Emmy finally is basically being called Red Arrow by everybody else, not just herself. And this was really good. Nice ending to the run. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Yep. Now, the artwork in here is still done by Juan Ferrer, who does pretty much most of the cover art, with Jamal Campbell, who is also one of the interior artists, and also the colorist as well. Yeah, Juan Ferrer is also the colorist. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and also Malcolm Merlin's in here, and Diggle's back with Team Arrow full time. So he basically cuts off all ties with Malcolm Merlin. Yeah. Good book. Final thoughts on this particular run. Well, Ben Percy's one technically started with not this particular trade per se, but with DCU. Yep. A thing that started in 2015 and in 2016. This is the second trade that collects his run for that particular era. But this basically was the start of his run. Started in 2015, and this came out, I think it was 2018, I believe it was, right? Yeah, 2018 this came out. So he was in the book for roughly 3 years. And, yeah, he started the book basically with this run. Yeah. This is where he started. Oh, and one thing I thought was really cool about this, forgot to mention this, the last page you see is the cover for Green Arrow Rebirth, except he's now smiling instead of frowning. Which, kudos for the artist doing that. I thought that was fantastic. Yeah. But this technically was the start of his run. And then you have the Rebirth first trade, you have the Death and the Life of Green Arrow. By the way, same art group who actually did the whole book. Volume 2, this is Island of Scars. Yeah. Volume 3, Emerald Outlaw. This was a really good storyline. This is basically brought back Eddie Fires. Yep, I will discuss a little more of that. Here's Volume 4, which I reviewed this one just recently. Rise of Star City. Oh yeah, by the way, thanks to Ninth Circle kind of been taken off screen, Seattle's renamed back from Star City to Seattle. Volume 5, which is just in my last episode, the Hard Shuffling Hero. Yeah. I mean, Ben Percy, you can at least praise him for bringing back some characters. I mean, the first arc he did, he brought back Tarantula. Yes, the female Tarantula. I'm sure that she was probably one character people probably did not want him to bring back at all, because she is not a very popular character. I mean, I don't know what the overall consensus about her is. It's just that when people think of her, people think of the controversial Nightwing 93 where she raped Nightwing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for what I've heard from some people, they were nervous when they announced that Ben Percy was going to continue writing Green Arrow, even after he did this run for Green Arrow. Yep. People were actually quite nervous. Oh yeah, he also did Annual as well, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. Yep. But then pretty much people's fears were subsided thanks to the very first story arc of the series, which had him basically... Yeah, it's like basically this run takes elements... This run for Green Arrow takes elements from the classic New Arms and Danny O'Neill, him losing his fortune. This thanks to the Ninth Circle. It also takes some influence from the Mike Grell run, especially with the introduction of Eddie Fires. My only guess is the reason why they brought in Oliver's mother in here, of how this is something I don't really like about the Green Arrow comic book that's been a problem for the past, from 2011 to 2019. Here's a really big problem with the Green Arrow book. And I'll get more into this when I discuss the end of this volume. Every writer basically tends to ignore, a lot of them tend to ignore what happened before. The one thing you can appreciate about Ben Percy, he kept the fact that Emmy is Green Arrow's sister and Shadow's mother, but anything else from Lemire's run? Nope. Ignore all that, because he decided to reintroduce Count Vertigo in here with a complete redesign. For no reason at all. Yes, as far as I know, there has been no explained reason why that Count Vertigo. Also, one thing that was really cool, bringing in Roy Harper, a character who was absent in the previous volume for the series, for no reason. Though I kind of have to ask, why in the world did Count Vertigo need a redesign? Yeah, that is something that I have got to ask. Yes. Okay, now this is his redesign for Rebirth. Now, his previous design was actually a lot different than that. Let me bring it up on here, because this, I think, is quite stupid. Okay, I'm not sure whose bright idea this was to just change his design. Let's see if I can find him here. Because there's an image of him for... Let's see if I can find him here. Yeah. They kept William Talkman here, which was great. Yeah. This is the design that Count Vertigo had when Jeff Lemire was writing the book. And this version of Count Vertigo, this look, showed up for an issue of Justice League. Now, my opinion about this look, there's nothing wrong with this look at all. But why change this look for? Yeah, it's one of two villains I can think of where they introduce a good look for, interesting look for him in the New 52 era for DC comic books, basically the post-Flashpoint era. Yeah, this one along with Cheetah. Yeah, these two characters had definitive design, where any other book that they popped up in, they use a particular design. In the case of Cheetah, they had Liam Sharp basically redesign her. They did have a slight different. They kind of tweaked her way her look in Scott Snyder Justice League, but at least you could tell she is Cheetah, and there wasn't much difference. Count Vertigo. Excuse me. Now, it's like Ben Percy decided to retcon Lemire's run, where that Oliver Queen met Count Vertigo in his early days, when he had a completely different freaking costume than he did before. They had basically where his flashback costume is the costume he was wearing post Flashpoint, his first costume, not his DCU costume. His first costume he had at the start of the continuity, and with him being clean shaven. It's kind of confusing to say the least. Now, one thing that was definitely correct that Ben Percy did, and yeah, giving Green Arrow a goatee again was by far one of his best decisions he did, because I have heard in an interview from a few years ago that the Dio himself regretted taking away his goatee, because that was part of his character. Though they kind of gave for some reason they gave his classic goatee, the Valkyrie goatee, the one he has in the 70s, they gave it to his father for some reason. I have no idea why the heck that was. Yes. Now, as for why in the world they changed Mora, where that, oh yeah, she apparently left Oliver when she was younger, I'm like, what? Even though that when you saw her in the Zero issue, she's there, and she welcomed Oliver home when he came back from the island. Then wait, why did he disappear for? Yeah. That's one thing that I think a lot of people had a big problem with Green Arrow over the past several years, was every writer kept ignoring all the previous stuff. Percy, on the other hand, he kept some stuff there, but anything story-wise, nope, he just ignored it. Because that was I heard from one particular person. I do agree with this opinion, that Ben Percy ignored everything that happened over the course of when he took over the book with issue 41, the previous one for the series, not this one. Everything that pretty much was established, well, like all that storytelling done over the course of 14 issues, well, 24 issues, mind you, all completely ignored because Ben Percy wanted to reboot the character in his own way, which I thought was kind of dumb. And then he decided to lead the book. Now, I have never heard of an article, like, when he left, I didn't know he even freaking left the book at all, because there was no article about it at all, there was no announcement he was leaving, it just, oh, we have a brand new writer on the book for no explained reason. I mean, yes, the last arc for this book here, this kind of wrapped up basically the whole Knife Circle stuff, and they're kind of taken down, but they could be still there, I don't know. Now, he could have left because he didn't like new direction the books are going. It's possible, but who knows? But my personal opinion, I think he left because he did not agree with DC's direction for the character. That's the reason why he left. But I've never heard an official reason why he left. Okay, moving on to a different book. This is Secret Warriors Volume 2, God of War, God of Fear. Written by Jonathan Hickman. Artwork by a couple of different artists on here. We have, actually, three different artists. We have Asata Veneti and Ed McGuinness with Tom Palmer, who did the list issue. Yeah. This book contains issues 7 through 10 and Dark Reign of List Secret Wars, which was the start of the list. If you're curious, though, like, what is Dark Reign the List? Dark Reign the List was a series of one-shots released during the event known as Dark Reign, happened in 2009 and in 2010 with the Siege crossover. It was, simply put, Norman Osborn's kill list. Or at least his hit list. Like, the Secret Warriors were on there, along with the Punisher, Wolverine. Like, the bottom of the list, believe it or not, was Spider-Man. Yes. So, he left Spider-Man for last. Which, okay. And there's even a joke in here, basically, about Nick Fury having a list, too. And one of the things on the list was, like, okay, Like, two things I remember from the list. One, punch Norman Osborn in the face, and the third one was have a beer. I thought that was so funny. Yeah, the Dark Reign List book, the one I have for Secret Wars, is somewhat hilarious, but so interesting as well. Now, in the case of the whole thing with the storyline with God of Fear stuff, it's mostly put for the storyline just the Secret Warriors versus the Dark Avengers. Well, a few members of Dark Avengers. And now, they do have one point when Ares takes away his son, not from the Secret Warriors to do his own thing. He basically took a Earth pantheon of heroes to be accepted as the God of Fear, which that was quite nice. And in case you're wondering about Daisy Johnson here. Now, does she have the look? Now, what look does she have in this book? Because she does not have the current look she has right now. Nope. They actually update her look. Because this is how she looks in the TV show. Now, if you look to Nick Fury's right, that is Daisy Johnson. Yep. Yeah, they pretty much basically based this look on the Angelina Jolie look Angelina Jolie had for the film Hackers. And this was her look up until she popped up in the Shield book by Mark Waid, where they had to redesign the character, all because they had to get rid of the look she had on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Don't know why, but they did. This is actually a pretty fun book. They also set up the whole thing with the Great Circle. They actually explain what they don't show a picture of the Great Circle. They do basically have a list of what the Great Circle is. Though the Great Circle itself does not make a physical appearance until issue 15 of the book. Now, this is of course the Great Wheel. Yeah, made up of several people. Now, this particular group will later form several different spy agencies. This group, they also brought back the other character, John Garrett, the one who appeared on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., played by Bill Paxton. Yeah, he's a comic book-based character. Though, people part of this group, basically, for the Great Wheel, is made up of Virgil Dasworth, John Garrett, Saja Sama, someone for Ares, Cornelius Von Lent, which I think he was Taurus from the original group of Zodiac and Nick Fury. For the Zodiac side, it's basically the bad guys, kind of. Baron Von Strucker, Dum Dum Dugan, Jake Fury, Kraken, Victor Gorsov. Yeah. Pretty much 4 groups spawned from this particular organization. Leviathan, Hydra, S.H.I.E.L.D., and Independence. Yeah, this is the start of a storyline deal with basically Secret Warriors versus Leviathan. You might be thinking, wait, Leviathan, isn't that the event that Bendis did last year? Yes, but this is a different version. This is Marvel's Leviathan. Yeah, Marvel's version of Leviathan predates DC's by, I think it was a year. Yeah, by at least 1 year. And Marvel's version of Leviathan is a complete different organization compared to the organization founded by Talia al Ghul. Yeah. This book is great. Give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Oh, in case you're wondering how many books left, there's actually 4 books left for the series. Yeah, I decided to mainly get this book for a really good reason, because I own the first trade, so why not get the remaining 5 trades? Yeah, just a pure fun book to read. And plus, I love Hickman's work. The interesting thing about the Secret Warriors series, it has a very loose connection to the series S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, that's one thing one thing a lot of people like or dislike about Hickman. He likes the books he works on to be connected to each other. It's kind of mixed bag people. People like that idea, and some people don't like the idea when it comes to something. Me, I'm for it, because I like stuff when it's connected. Not like where you read this book and then read this book. I'm not like that. Basically, with a loose connection to each other, or at least can mention the events in each other's books. But yeah, I expect to see more reviews for this series coming in the future. Now, in the case of Green Arrow, for the most recent one for the series, for the ones that collect this trade series, there's only 2 trades left. Yep, only 2 left. And oh boy, I can't wait to discuss these 2 things when I get my hands on them, okay? So yeah, that's it for Singular View, and that's it for videos today. Stay tuned for tomorrow for more One Piece and ReZero tomorrow, okay? See you next video. Bye.